Hey, what's going on, my good people? Yeah, there's been some interesting details that have come out in the Jelani Day case. And I got a lot of questions, a lot. So I'm going to need y'all to follow and keep up, okay? Now, one of the theories that have been floating around out there was that maybe Jelani met up with somebody. Maybe this had something to do with somebody he was interested in. And I ain't gonna lie, it was one of my theories too, but I never really dug into that part of it until now. Come on, ride with me. Now, we're all aware of the unusual circumstances surrounding Jelani Day's death. And in this video right here, I want to discuss the clothes. Who found them? Where they were found. And that's what we're going to do in this video right here. Pay attention.
Today they contacted me because they wanted me to identify some clothing that was found along the river bank where this unidentified body was found. Today they wanted to tell me that there were two females from the ISU campus that found this clothing. And keep in mind, the search that took place when the body was found, this clothing was found a mile from where this body was found. All of a sudden, my frustration now is that they keep telling me that they have these witnesses that find things. There was a witness that found his wallet, but who is this witness? Why aren't they talking up? Now it's these two girls from ISU that were doing their own investigation. It's how things are being taken care of, how things are being conducted. You know, that body was found on September 4th. Today is September 22nd, and a mile from where the body was found, now there's clothing discovered by two ISU students, quote unquote, that were out doing their own investigation, that knew where to look.
So Jelani's body was found September the 4th, and 18 days later, on September the 22nd, two white girls from ISU, supposedly conducting their own investigation, went up to Peru and found his clothes. And this area that you're looking at right now, Jesse Jackson and Carmen took a group of people to the actual sites of where the car was found and where the clothes were found. And this is the location right here.
That was later identified to be Jelani's clothing is here. So where this clothing was found is a mile away up the river from where the body was found. And my thing is, if the police, when they did the search with the Illinois Search and Rescue, why would they stop them from coming a mile and a half up the river and see that there were clothes up here to find other evidence? They didn't do their job. None of this makes sense. So I need you to see it for yourself. See it for yourself. None of this makes sense.
So the day that the police found Jelani's body, they didn't find no clothes. It took two white girls from ISU over 2 weeks later to find them. And we had a lot of questions surrounding that. First and foremost, how did they know where to look? What were they doing up there? Listen to what the police told Carmen.
That at first when they seen the clothing, this is what I was told, that they didn't think nothing of it. They got in their car, they drove away, but then they looked at a picture of Jelani and decided, oh, that's what Jelani had on. And then they called the police. Who are these girls?
So these two white girls drove to Peru and found the clothes. And don't forget that this spot is an hour away from ISU. More than an hour away. So these girls drove an hour away, went to this particular spot, found the clothes, and then they told Carmen that they drove back. But they supposedly was doing their own investigation though, right? So they then drove back, I'm assuming, to ISU again, which is over an hour away, and then saw a picture of Jelani and was like, those was his clothes. And I'm like, wait a minute. Couple things. From the moment Jelani was reported missing, the last known images of him at that weed dispensary was plastered everywhere. I mean, hell, there's a lot of us connected to this case. Ain't nowhere near Illinois. Ain't never met Jelani, but we can tell you what he was last seen wearing. They didn't know. They were supposed to been up there doing their own investigation, right? They ain't know. Hell, they could have Googled that. The movement of these two white girls was so suspect to me. And it made me question a few things. One being, if they planted the clothes up there. And then tried to play us like, we found them. We found the clothes. Or did they even go up there at all? I mean, because understand this. If those girls was with Jelani, or they knew somebody who was with Jelani when he went into that water, they didn't have to drive an hour away to tell the police where his clothes were. You understand what I'm saying?
Ask the witnesses who came down here and found the clothing. Why would they even come down here? See it for yourself. Ask them. There were two young white girls. They said the police officers told us that they was from ISU that were bored. They came down here because they wanted to find information to see if they can help locate anything about Jelani. Ask them why they would come down here. Ask them why this would be the spot that they would look at. How would they know? I need those answers. Ask them why they lawyered up right now. Ask them.
Now, those two white girls said that they went up there to Peru to see if they could find any info to help locate anything about Jelani. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Because you have to understand, at this point, the car has been found, the lanyard, the wallet. Hell, they even found Jelani. So then my question was, why did they drive all the way up there, or what did they drive all the way up there for, hoping to find? And not only that, how did they know there was more to find? In this video clip, Carmen told us that these girls then lawyered up. And you know what? They should have. Because you have to understand, they found the clothes of a dead man in a high-profile case. They should have got a lawyer. So I understand that part. What I don't understand is, how did they know where to look? They got some explaining to do. And we all know that. In that video of Carmen and Reverend Jesse Jackson showing people where Jelani's clothes were found, I think she may have given us a clue. Pay attention.
Ms. Day, are there any activities that go on here where anybody would have been around or seen anything, or is this pretty much always secluded?
How would I know? I'm here just like you. Well, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know what they do down here. From what they tell me, this is like a lover's lane. Jelani ain't loving on nobody down here. Nobody. So no, I don't know what they would do down here. My son ain't coming into the woods to hang out. That's not what he did, ever. In all the 25 years of me raising him and knowing him, this wouldn't have been Jelani's hangout spot. He wouldn't have came down here to swim. See it for yourself.
Yeah. So when asked about this area, Carmen said that she was told that the spot where they found Jelani's clothes, and need I remind you, his shirt and his hat was found with the car. So the only thing that was found up there in this area was his shorts, his socks, and his shoes. This area is known as Lover's Lane. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, that raised a lot of questions for me. Come on, we still riding. Now, the coroner came out and told us that the cause of death was drowning. And in that last video I did, I speculated that, if we can believe what they're saying, then that would mean that Jelani was alive when he made it to Peru. I mean, to me, 2 plus 2 equals 4. But when you add in these extra details, now what we have is he was alive for the drive and he ended up naked at a spot that they call Lover's Lane. Now, we got to look at all angles of this case. And this is just another angle. And we have to explore it. It is what it is. But when I heard about those details, it made me feel like now there's some type of love interest involved in this. Okay? And it made me think about his weed run to the dispensary, and then the fact that he turned his phone off. Now, I don't know about y'all, but for me, without telling all my little business, when I'm preparing for a date or to be with somebody that I'm vibing with, I'll prepare by, I might buy a bottle. Some of y'all might buy a bag of weed. Y'all getting yourself together for this date. And then I too have turned my phone off. And you want to know why? So while I was with this person, couldn't none of my other male friends get in touch with me. Okay? You might call it some player shit, whatever y'all want to call it. It is what it is. But here's the problem. If that's the case, then my question is, why would you turn your phone off immediately after you left the dispensary? But one thing you do have to keep in mind is the fact that they did tell us that the last cell phone ping was at the dispensary, but those cell towers cover a range, okay? And I'm like, why would you turn your phone off? That's when I started to think, I'm like, maybe he picked up somebody, this love interest, and they live near this dispensary. They were still in range of the same cell tower. So he turned his phone off. Y'all understand where I'm going with this? So in my mind, it's like, why would you turn your phone off before you got to this person? What if the plans changed? It don't seem like he was worried about that. And if we just kicking it with the homies, we ain't turning our phone off. You understand what I'm saying? We're not doing that. And if we only gonna be with you, let's say 20, 30 minutes, we may not turn our phone off. But if I'm gonna be with you an hour or longer, yeah, that phone is going off for sure. So I'm thinking whoever Jelani was with, and I do believe he was with someone, whoever he was with was from the ISU area. But they knew the area of Peru. And they knew it well enough, to take him to the spot where lovers go. So if we go with that theory, then what happened when they got there? You understand what I'm saying? Now, this question right here for my fellas out there. If you're on a date, and at some point you take your shirt off and your hat, why? I mean, I would love to hear what y'all got to say. Now, I done seen guys remove their hats for the kissing. The hat gets in the way. I'm just saying. But then, why take your shirt and your hat off and then put it in the trunk? How did it end up in the trunk? Then I got to throwing around a couple ideas, and I'm like, well, maybe he knew he was about to do an hour drive. He didn't want to burn no gas. He was going to have the windows down. Maybe he took his shirt off, And then some guys think that's impressive to us. And, if you built nice, it is. Know that. I'm just still stuck on how his shirt and his hat ended up in the trunk. And I've been in situations where I had to put some of my clothes in the trunk, but I did that because it was going to be a lot of people in my car, and I didn't want them messing my stuff up. I didn't want them sitting on it, stepping on it, nothing. So I put it in the trunk so it was safe. So for all I know, that's what happened here. Now, if you look at the area that the clothes was found in, even though Carmen and them walked this trail, it looked like you can drive back there. Because my thing is this, if this called Lover's Lane, I mean, where do they park? I'm sure there's a way to get back there and get up out of there in a car. Did somebody catch them up there? I mean, if something happened at this location, don't you think the person or people that was with him would take the car? Hell, that's the fastest way up out of there. And then I'm suspecting that now that Jelani was in that river on Wednesday, the 25th. And I'm thinking that because the man who did the third autopsy on Jelani came out and said this.
The first thing we did when we examined the body was look for external signs of trauma. So I'm looking for lacerations, incisions, broken bones, gunshot wounds.
Saratello says while his team did not find any obvious signs of external trauma to the body, he says it's impossible to say there was no harm done at this point.
The fact is, Mother Nature dealt us a very difficult hand. The remains were in water for 11 days, and the river washed away a great deal of forensic evidence.
Yeah, he seems so precise with Jelani having been in that river for 11 days. And I was like, how can you be so sure? But you know. And so my thing is, he done went to Peru with somebody that knows the area, took them where lovers go. Something happened. Whoever he was with took his car 3 miles away, dumped it in this area right here. And all of these areas, Carmen been trying to tell us, all of these areas are off the grid, so to speak. Like if you weren't from the area, you wouldn't know about these spots. And where they found his car was no different. You see him, look at him. And let's not forget that whoever took the car, not only did they dump it, they removed the plates. Somebody was trying to hide the fact that Jelani had been up there. And so it made me question, okay, if Jelani rode somebody up there, or some people up there, something happened, and then they took his car and dumped it, then how did they get back? I mean, I would love to know if there was any ISU students who had relatives out there in Peru and then showed up unexpected. I mean, I would think they would be stuck out there. Then we got the whole situation about the wallet.
Jelani's wallet was found. It was found on some street. I'm not for sure exactly what the street was. There was an individual whom I don't know whom this individual was that claims to have seen an individual drop the wallet. Someone wearing red shirt or red shorts is unsure.
So what if the person that was seen dropping the wallet was an ISU student in red? I mean, that is their color. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think outside the box, because this is one of the angles that have been put out here. And so we need to look at everything. We don't want to dismiss anything too soon. And I know, Carmen, like, look, my son wouldn't have been over there. My son wouldn't have been kicking it in the woods. No, none of that. And coming from a mother who is raising a 25-year-old son, I don't know all his movements. I don't. And I'm sure she don't either. But I stand 100% behind Carmen. Know that. But coming from a mother who has raised boys, what I do know is that love and attraction will have them doing some things that they wouldn't normally do. I'm just saying. But what this feels like to me is that whoever had something to do with what happened to Jelani or knew about what happened to Jelani, they felt comfortable moving around in Peru. That's what it looked like. And we need to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And understand why I'm asking for the Illinois Attorney General. Understand why I'm asking for the FBI. Understand why I'm asking for the Department of Justice. Understand why I'm saying that Bloomington and Peru and LaSalle and the sheriff officers, everybody that was down here on September 4th did not do their job.
So make the news, nigga, and watch what happens. If you make it over here on this channel, nigga, we on your ass.
Okay.